Oh boy, yet another strategy game. That's what it is. Leane 2, Leane of the Legitimate Crown. I don't really get why Leane is the name of the game. Sure, she is a heroine, but there are several other heroines. She's not really the first and main choice. The game starts with an explanation of how holy kings are chosen as successors, which went over my head. The important thing is that A. Women can't be kings, and B. The closest holy king candidate has a crest on his body. Fast forward to the day and hey, the last holy king died with no kids and no one's found anyone with a crest. The country fucks itself into a civil war and now a shitty excuse of a dictator rules the kingdom. You are General Aris, probably the lamest name in the game. A skilled general and now you're accused of treason. Aris? More like Aristed. Ha! So you fuck off to some island nation. In that island nation, you find a guy with a crest, and he's a swell guy. Let's help this guy become the holy king. Now, the first step is to choose which nation to ally with. This is the route choice that determines which heroines are available later on. Oh, finally, we start strategy gaming after a long period of reading. This here's the first part of the game. Nothing special except for it being real time. Map cities, exploit cities, replenish army. I think that's all for logistics. There are buildings for speeding up healing and recruitment, and also forts to fuck the enemy, but that's just really simple shit. The combat though, an entire unit, whose size is dependent on the general's level, can only have one type of unit. This is still acceptable, if not for the fact that only one unit at a time can fight. That means you can either have infantry fight the enemy without artillery support, or have artillery fight the enemy without infantry support. Leane 2, do you take me for a fool? Do you think I'd deploy artillery without defensive and emotional support? Well, since the system made it that way, then yes, I guess I'm a fool. Also, when a fight concludes, whoever loses becomes a prisoner. I understand this happening for the defenders, but why can't the attackers fucking run after a botched offensive? Anyways, magic users are king. They have long range, heavy damage, and some of them can freeze the enemy. For the second part of the game, we will introduce a revolutionary new concept. This concept will make this a genre-defining game, and generations in the future will say, "This is the Leane 2 of, puzzle games, maybe? Behold, our grand concept. NTR! Whoa, hey, why are you booing me? Whoa, stop throwing chairs at me!" Yeah, that's right, after the first part, the game gives some of the old NTR seasoning. Here's the situation. The king is really worried about the line of holy kings being severed again. So he goes all out in baby making. Oh yeah, you are quite responsible in providing the women for that. The king especially wants your female generals since they're rich in mana, making them capable of making superior children or something. Also, he only wants virgins. This means the NTR scenes are a combo meal of defloration, NTR, harem, and impregnation. Getting cooked is one thing, watching her give birth to his children is another. And let me tell you, on my first playthrough, I got fucking cooked. The king decides to take two of my girls into his harem. Whether or not I agree is irrelevant, of course. One of them is someone who I forgot even existed. The other girl is a girl I didn't particularly care about, so lucky I guess. The king also has a quota of princes. 2 princes every 6 months. What? Quota unfulfilled? Raise the concubine quota. What? Quota unfulfilled? Fucking send an army to kidnap one of your generals. That'll be fine, our army is doing really well anyway. This army kidnapping scheme is rather amusing. I tried imagining it happening in a World War II scenario. Ah yes, that hill looks perfect for an artillery position. Get her out! The Führer's woman hunting squad is coming! Oh shit, get the women out of here! Just get them to advance and get them encircled, so that those hunters have to get through several enemy divisions to get them. So yeah, I started my quest to save as many virgins as possible. By the end of that playthrough, the king had 350 concubines, 88 children, and has had sex 2045 times. Which is actually an underwhelming amount considering that I can have sex 100 times a minute with an auto-clicker. On my second playthrough I almost got cucked again, so I reloaded and found a way to avoid such thing on the forums. Yeah, on that playthrough I didn't even make any additional harem buildings, and the king didn't even have any more sons. Good job, me. Now that's blitzkrieg. If I were me, I'd stage a coup or perhaps strike a deal with the enemy to help assassinate the ruler. Then I'd use that incident to rouse the kingdom into a fury and strike back at the enemy. Let me tell you, considering what they did, it wouldn't be out of place if I were to exterminate their entire race. If I'm successful, then I'd have to fucking exterminate all of the royal children. Every single one of them. My script sounds a bit heated. Yes, I'm a bit unnerved by all this. Apparently reading NTR does give normal people high levels of stress. It took me 2 hours to sleep that night, and 3 hours the next night. Oh yeah, the game also has a third part. Demons have invaded, yada yada, fight them, beat them. Rather underwhelming really. Kinda reminds me of the final parts of Infinite Space. I have several ideas of improving the build-up to this part and the part itself, but I'll just keep it to myself. Then there is a new Game Plus system, but everyone retains their levels. Yes, even before they join you. So that level 99 wizard trump card you got there will fuck you up on your next playthrough. The porn is fucking unfair, man. There are 3 types of scenes. The wholesome with you scenes, the fucking cucked by the king scenes, and the raped by the subhumans scene. Guess which one of those is the most boring of the bunch? I've only seen 2 of the wholesome scenes, and they're really boring, damn. One had a fucking bright light shining in just the right spot. The other had a fucked ankle that only shows the upper body parts. In both cases, I couldn't fucking see any insertion happening. The NTR scenes are quite nice as far as porn goes, though I noticed that most traces of the girl's personality seem to disappear during and after these scenes. But now that I think about it, their personalities aren't really anything special either. I'm quite confused about whether I'm more amused by the sight of girls getting impregnated, or the sight of girls I know getting impregnated. Yeah, congrats on that game, you make me question myself. Huh? What? The subhuman scenes? Yeah, I ain't letting subhuman filth desecrate the sacred area, continent named Blood. The subhumans are already busy getting exterminated, they don't have time to rape our girls. Actually, I can't be bothered with getting cooked a dozen times, I'll just steal a full save from the interwebs. With a pretty good plot, somewhat okay gameplay, and porn whose quality is quite subjective, this is probably one of the better games in my library. It's not good enough to warrant an Iron Cross, nor is it something you should be proud of playing and recommending. Perhaps I start recommending it if I were given more options in exterminating some wankers.